fucking hot in here. Kind of reminds me of that one summer I went to Warped Tour. Yeah, I went to Warped Tour. Surprised? I kind of am. I went with a couple of people, and I thought it would be a good time, but it really wasn't. It wasn't a very enjoyable experience. It was extremely hot, kind of how it's been for the past couple of days here in Pennsylvania. And it's, you know, it was to the point where we were only there for about an hour and a half, and one of our party members actually got very ill due to the heat, and we just collectively decided it was best for us to, you know, kind of take our ball and go home and leave. It really sucked because I didn't get the opportunity to see Bad Religion, who I really enjoy, but I don't know, I guess there's always, you know, local shows or whenever they come around or whatever the fuck. Warped Tour, though, has definitely gotten a lot of attention, first in 2013 and now once again here in 2014 for their stance against moshing, against crowdsurfing, against, you know, stage diving, things of that variety. And they're using a very direct approach that we're going to get to here in a minute. This is something that originated in 2013 whenever Bring Me the Horizon's frontman complained about the fact that Warped Tour approached him telling him not to encourage stage diving and moshing. Now, what is actually the reality here is that they basically were trying to say that he shouldn't encourage it, but if the fans themselves initiate it, then it's okay. They basically want to avoid anybody being hurt based around what anybody from the band does. Because, you know, the bands are under contract with Vans, and that could actually open the door for a lawsuit. Here in 2014, it's actually the opposite. It seems like everybody's latched onto this idea that Vans and the Warped Tour in general are universally banning all of these things. And this is something that's just not really all of that true. This is once again, similar to 2013, a banning of the encouragement of it. This is not something where bands are going to be, you know, slated to encourage circle pits, walls of death, stage diving, and ridiculous antics such as that. And it's also something where they're going to take a little bit more of a watchful eye to what's going on in the audience, or at least that's their plan. The reason for this is because they feel that lawsuits could come from any individual who happens to be injured at the tour, and if the lawsuit comes, then no more Warped Tour. Well, that's fucking direct, man. You have one person fuck up and all of a sudden your, you know, concert event, your festival is done? What kind of shaky freaking ground are you on financially? For all the damn kids that are there, you'd think that you guys would be rolling in the bank. Well, these guys have corporate sponsors now, and each of those corporate sponsors can easily, you know, pack up and take their money elsewhere. And a lawsuit will definitely be an encouragement for them to do so. Principally because it showcases that the tour isn't as safe as originally perhaps, you know, intended, either that or presented to these corporate backers whenever they were being sought after for their corporate money. So Vans, which was, or the Warped Tour should I say, Vans Warped Tour, which started off as being kind of anti-establishment, being really a tour that's based around this, you know, third wave skate punk culture or the ska culture, now has become, you know, pro-establishment, pro the man. Damn, how the times have really changed and how the mighty have really fucking fallen. But I have to say this, you know, by issuing some sort of direct warning like this, to the degree of no moshing, no stage diving, you know, you get hurt, you sue, no more Warped Tour, however the fuck the stupid thing goes. I don't have it in front of me, I don't give a shit about this crap, but I feel like I need to talk about it. That's really direct. And consider your audience. Consider the age range of your audience. Really, the people that are going to Warped Tour are getting younger by the year. In fact, I just had somebody yesterday at my store who looked to be no more than 8 years old purchase a Pierce the Veil album. Yeah, they're alum. But at the same time, based around this, you're still going to have individuals perhaps all the way up to my age and even older that are going to be at the tour. And I'm not just talking about the parents of the kids that I just mentioned. I'm talking about legitimate people who legitimately like this music and legitimately want to participate in it. We're going to have members of the media. There's going to be all sorts of different individuals there. So, yeah, people are going to be under fire all the time. But think about it. If you tell them all not to do something, especially people of the teenage variety, if they followed in the footsteps of my generation, you know what the hell they're going to do? Exactly what you don't want them to do. And actually, if that happens, I support it, because that's more of a true punk culture and a true punk realization than anything else that, you know, Warped Tour is really promoting these days. It's really stupid in order to do this. This is something where instead you should just include a little waiver or a little, you know, thing on your ticket that basically absolves them of all guilt or punishment if anything were to happen to your stupid ass. That's exactly what I would do. I would make sure that everything was handled in the fine print. That way, whenever somebody says that they're going to sue, you look at the back of the ticket and there you go. There's your waiver. If you didn't read it, you fucking missed out. And you missed out on key information. Now, you might be wondering why I'm supporting Warped Tour in this endeavor, and the principal reason for this is because, well, people are stupid. You know, this is something where I almost expect somebody to get hurt at Warped Tour this year. I almost expect it to happen, principally based around the fact that there's been so much attention called to it. It's going to happen, and then Warped Tour is going to be in financial trouble, or at least that's going to be the feeling. Everyone's going to get worried. It's going to be this huge fucking shitstorm on the internet and everything else, and then all of a sudden, next year, 2015 comes, and hey, there's Warped Tour. They're fine. Nothing's wrong. So what the fuck was all the mess about? This is what really grinds my gears about this stupid crap. Warped Tour at one point in time had bands that actually were, really relevant to the scene. Now, it wasn't necessarily your granddaddy's punk music. We're not talking about them having on tour the Sex Pistols and things like that. No. Instead, this was bands such as, Goldfinger and Sublime. And even Beck was on the first Warped Tour. Check the first Warped Tour compilation. You'll see a Beck song on there. It's crazy, right? But ever since then, this is something that's become a constant source of conversation, especially among some of the older bands, such as the Queers. And then, of course, we have some of what we have here with the newer bands. It definitely seems as though Warped Tour has attracted a lot of Christian bands that just are as heavy as shit, that, that's all that they are, but at the same time look just like boy bands and act just like them too. And all the old, real philosophers and purveyors of the punk idea, or at least the idea from whenever Warped started, are now saying, the fuck is this shit? What the hell happened? This is something that's stupid. It's fucking being raised in the fucking studio. Fall Out Boy was a band that was actually recognized and called out based around this idea, where they're getting all of this industry backing, they're getting all this money, they're getting hotels, jet planes, movie stars, they're fucking people that they don't need to be fucking because their dicks wouldn't get touched if they weren't a fucking band. And, it's okay. It's considered to be punk. It's considered to be trendy culture now, as opposed to it being something that was a real underground movement that really attracted just true practitioners, as opposed to little flagrant fakers. Now, am I somebody who's a member of the punk culture who's pissed off? No, but I am actually kind of pissed off on behalf of the punk culture because I always knew Warped Tour as a punk tour. What I see now sure as fuck ain't punk. If this is what punk is called, then punk, any member of a punk band should either, reform and really show these kids how it's done, or just collectively commit suicide because there's no fucking hope. I hate to sound so grim. Actually, no, I don't. Because, quite frankly, with the way in which metal is starting to go, if there weren't as many great bands that are in the underground, I'd want to kill myself. Warped Tour has definitely become a shell of its former self, and this newest edict is just another step in the whole commercialization of the idea. And really, for all the tours that are out there, the Ozfests and things like that, you would think that commercialization and, industry backing and having a bunch of financial supporters and blah, blah, blah would really not be, the true intention. But that's exactly what this is. It's just like anything else. This is a way to make money, okay? You have to understand that this festival, this tour, is being handled like a business. Music itself may have a direct message. It may have a message where you don't need business. You don't need corporate backing. You can fight the man and fuck the power. But this is something where a large collective like this, you need to have the money. And so that's the way it's been handled. And especially since it's become such a huge conglomerate. That's right. This is a huge tour. It brings in and rakes in revenue yearly. And considering the number of bands that are on this tour, as one person once said, it's like seeing all of your favorite bands in one day. Well, that's fucking stupid. Why would you want to see each and every one of them in one day, in one super lineup? Give me 17 concerts to go to in the summertime. I'll go to each and every one of them. I'll enjoy each and every one of them. Principally because I don't have to sit through a bunch of faggy bands in order to get to the ones that I want. Or I don't have to make the hard decision of which of my favorite bands that I want to see because they're on 2 different stages, or in some rare cases 4 different stages, and then I don't know what the fuck I want to do. I want to migrate from one stage to the other and get a chance to glimpse at them for like 5 seconds. No, I'd rather go to 17 shows, spend a little bit more money, and see these bands, see these groups that I love for an hour and a half or more or less. Warped Tour just absolutely pisses me off. The culture is there. And the culture is dumb. This isn't punk, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't even emo anymore. This is just stupid. These are a bunch of fucking little trendy hipster ass clowns that just decide that since they like Pierce the Veil or the Wonder Years or Chunk No Captain Chunk, that all of a sudden they're fucking amazing. All of a sudden the Warped Tour is the greatest thing that ever happens to them. I saw this whenever Ozfest started happening and really was picking up a lot of momentum in the first half of the 2000s. Everybody I knew was there, but the people that weren't there were at Warped Tour. Either that or seeing, the Backstreet Boys, whatever. At the same time, this is something where if you're going to go to Warped Tour, have fun. I hope that you do. And be safe, because I think there's going to be a lot of stupidity out there. And just so you know, and this is not me trying to crush your dreams and, be a belligerent dick. This is just the truth. A lot of bands that were on Warped Tour prior have a real problem with it these days. And they really feel that this is something that's heading in a negative direction. Might be time to try something new. Hell, it might be time to go to a show that actually encourages you to have fun, as opposed to just standing, doing nothing. I need AC at those shows too. I need AC in here.